Okay, now you're doing it.
All right, so everyone.
And welcome to.
Okay, so we're gonna get started on this. Go ahead and write the words vertex form. All right, and the actual form of this is f of x equal to a parentheses x minus h. I'm gonna tell you what h means. This parentheses is squared, and then plus k. So there's two new variables that we're looking at, and it's h and k.
Height, I think.
All right. So go ahead and open up this section, please. Now, coming in, you should have also gotten this paper. It's got two graphs on it. You're going to be gluing this in. If you didn't get it, go ahead and get it.
No. You gotta walk over the camera.
No. All right, so I'm going to open this up.
Can you get the scissors up in there? I'm just kidding. Is it bothering you?
All right. So right over here, I'm going to show you the steps. So how to graph this? What are the steps to graph it if it is in vertex form? Okay. Literally, it's going to be the same as standard form. Okay, the steps are all the same. And the only difference is how do we determine the vertex? How do we determine the vertex in vertex form? Well, it's called vertex form. You can actually find the vertex by looking at it. And I'm going to write that form here again. We're going to define what are certain parts, what do they represent. So f of x equal to a x minus h squared plus k. Okay, I'm going to highlight a couple of things. I'm going to highlight this h over here and this k. I'm not highlighting the minus sign in between, so don't highlight that. Okay. The vertex, when it is in vertex form, is h comma k. Okay. Literally, if you see something, and instead of h and k, you'll have numbers substituted for them, you can determine the vertex from there. Okay. The thing is this. You always need a minus sign in between x and your number. Okay. So in this case, if we had, let's say, x minus 3, we'll put that in parentheses, and then plus 6. Okay, the vertex in this case will be 3, comma 6. This is not negative 3, right? You always need a minus sign in between. Okay. Or another way you can think of this is just look at what's in the parentheses and just ask yourself, what's the opposite? What's the opposite of negative 3? Well, it's positive 3. Okay. How about another one? Let's do x plus 5 squared minus 7. What's the vertex from there?
Negative 5, positive 7.
Negative 5. In this case, this will always stay the same. So this remains negative 7.
Okay.
But the thing is, the reason that this is negative 5 is that we can rewrite a positive. How can we write a positive so that it's represented as a negative?
One over 5.
Negative. So that we can represent this as x minus a negative 5, right? There's a minus sign in between. Therefore, this value is a negative 5. Okay. Now, these values here, they actually represent certain things. They actually shift the parabola. So I'd like you to draw 3 arrows. One at the A, one at the H, and one at the K. I'm going to start off to the right. So the K value, this actually shifts the parabola. It shifts it vertically up and down. The H value, this shifts it horizontally. But the thing is, just like how you change, if we have a negative 3, it's actually a positive 3 representing our vertex. It's always the opposite. So I'm going to write opposite. So typically, if you think we're going to have a negative 3 inside here, you would think go 3 to the left. It's actually the opposite. It's 3 to the right. Okay. And the A value. Now the A value can do a couple of things. It can either reflect it, right? That's how we get an upside down frowning parabola. Or what it can do is it can stretch it. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to represent this. We're going to take a break from notes, so you can go ahead and put your pencils down. We're going to get to this, which is going to be our example, but after this part. So I'd like for you to look at this. Not that. This. So we said that the the h value, we'll start over here. What does that do to the parabola?
Horizontally.
Horizontally. If I just press play, all this is the a value is actually shifting. It's increasing and also decreasing. It's moving side to side. And we'll stop at 0. Never mind. What does the k value do?
Up and down.
Up and down.
That's so cool.
Wow.
You're like something moves up and down. And the a value, this stretches it. What I mean by stretches it, it can have actual vertical stretch, or it can compress, or even reflect.
Because 8 times maybe.
And let's see how that moves.
Oh.
It's like wire cutters.
See, it's still stretching. Now it's kind of flattening here, and then it reflects. And notice here, right? The a value is increasing, increasing, increasing. Now it's starting to decrease, and when it gets past 0, it reflects. Okay, so that's what this is happening. Alright.
I can watch it. Stop it at 0.
Well, let's play them all.
Yes. Oh my god!
This is so pleasing.
Now that's kind of scary.
It looks like
That's
it's
awesome.
going in a diamond shape.
It looks like a bird just flying around.
It's
I want this. It does actually.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
Last night I was
It is a
falling
bird.
down and I saw a seizure bird. It was awesome.
Like imagine waking up and that's flying.
It's like it's flying.
Seizure bird.
It was just sitting there.
Like you're playing with
Like it was.
Alright, I'm going to stop it before anyone has a seizure.
I saw it into a wall.
You're like, hey.
Looking back there.
Alright, on the bottom. Go ahead and draw a line straight down. Okay, now we're going to do 2 examples. But the thing is, I'd like for you to take your cutout, this graph, and probably glue it in toward the bottom of this. Okay,
Wait.
just like that. Also, I did not cut this. I had someone else do this.
Wow, so bad.
It's not that bad, is it? You're like, this is not parallel to the other side.
Nope, it's not.
Go glue it upside down.
Ah.
Oh, that's
It's so nice not having to fight people for this buggy.
I know.
You can just like throw it.
Alright. Glue it and punch it into your notes.
Mr. G, I did this wrong.
You did it.
Oh my gosh, I thought I did it wrong.
No, I did. I wrote it on the wrong.
Look how that look. I did a straight line on the bottom.
Alright, left-hand side, I'd like for you to write graph f of x. I'm going to zoom in. F of x equal to, and in this case we're actually not going to have an a value, we're just going to have x minus 5 squared minus 2.
So A is 0.
A in this case isn't 0. A in this case is, since you don't see it, it's actually a 1. Okay, so in this case a is 1. Right, just like how when you see an x squared, that a value is 1. Alright, but determine the vertex, we don't have to go through this negative b over 2a business. We can just go ahead and already find it. What is our vertex? Go ahead and raise your hand, Simon.
5, -2.
5, -2. Perfect. So, we're doing the opposite of this, right? You always need this value here, so we're going to have positive 5, but we keep this value of -2. And then we can already go ahead and graph that. Okay, go ahead and box the vertex.
I wish my math was always easy.
Alright, how do I graph 5, -2?
Up 5. I mean,
Up,
yeah. To the side 5,
to the
down
right
2.
5.
Right, 5 and 2
Yeah.
down. Alright, big mold.
Good boy.
And since our A value is 1, and we do use a pattern of 1, 3, 5, 7, what happens to this pattern?
Goes negative.
It stays the same, right? Nothing happens. If I multiply this by 1, it remains the same function. I'm going to go ahead and draw the axis of symmetry through here. So everything to the left and right of this line, and this line being x equal to 5, will be symmetric. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so go ahead and move 1, 3, 5, and 7. So that means 1 to the right, 1 up. 1 to the right, 3 up. 1, 2, 3. And it looks like we can go 5, 1 to the right, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repeat the pattern to the left-hand side. So it's to the left 1, up 1. Notice that it is symmetric. To the left 1, up 3. And left 1, up 5. Okay. I'm just going to take out a different color, try to make this parabola perfect. It looks like that. All right, good. So we have an upward facing parabola, right? Our A value in this case was positive. It's facing up, right? We got a smiley face over here. And we have an axis of symmetry right over there. And also our vertex is at the point 5, -2. Okay. It has two solutions, right? Because it's crossing at the x-axis in two areas. All right, let's get to the other one.
What was the equation again?
Oh, this one?
You can hear it raining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's even cold.
Are you kidding me?
It
I
worked.
streamed the day.
Oh my god,
It's
it worked.
Hey, Miss, you have a question.
It
The rain
sucks.
dance.
I
It
just
worked.
Huh?
Oh my god,
Stupid.
I'm gonna. All right, so it's x equal to 5.
I'm amazing. I'm a minor god.
Can we like heat it up a little bit?
I know, it's a bit chilly.
All right, let's go to the right-hand side. I'd like for you to write graph. And this, our pattern will be changed. We're going to have 1/2. Ooh, sorry. Cross that out. Sorry, forgot to put f of x equal to 1/2
Just kidding.
parentheses x minus 2 squared and then plus 5. Okay. So in this case, we have to find the vertex. What is the vertex that we have for this parabola?
Positive 2, negative, or positive 5.
Good. Positive 2, positive 5. Right? It's the opposite of the inside. So this becomes positive 2. You can just think of, I'm only looking at this number here. So it's x minus, that's our h value, which is 2, and plus 5, which is there. Okay. Go ahead and box that. Now the thing that's a little bit different
Is that?
Is the sequence.
is the sequence, right? So we start out with this sequence of 1, 3, 5, 7. But our a value in this case is 1/2. So basically just take half of every single number. What's half of 1?
A half.
I'm actually going to convert them all to decimals, so 0.5. What's half of 3?
1.5.
1.5.
And then 2.5.
2.5.
Half of 5 is 2.5,
And then 3.5.
and then 3.5. And we could keep going, but you know what? This looks pretty good. All right, so go ahead and graph the coordinate of 2, 5, which is 2 to the right and 5 up. And we're going to move using this pattern. All right. So from here, we're going to go 1 to the right. Oh, sorry, I forgot to draw the axis of symmetry.
Ow.
What's the equation of the axis of symmetry in this case?
2.
X equal to 2. All right, so we're going to go over 1 to the right and a half up. From there, we're going to go 1 to the right, but 1.5 up. Well, if you look at this from here, this is a half, and then up 1 will be right over here.
7.
And the next one, over 1 to the right, and 2.5 up, so 1, 2, and then a half. Looks like that's as far as we can go up. All right, repeat that process over to the left, so we're going to go 1 over, a half up, from here.
1 over.
1 over, 1.5 up, so a half, and then 1, and then 1 over, 2.5 up, so 1, 2, half. Okay. Go ahead and connect these points.
How are you so busy?
Now, from here, if the value for our A is in between 0 and 1, what it means is it has this effect of it's actually getting wider. Okay, if it's greater than 1, it actually gets steeper and you get this stretching factor. Okay. All right, any questions on this? All right, go ahead and put this off to the side, and that concludes our notes.
Yay.
How